What's up YouTube? Musty Hobbit here, and I'd like to welcome you to a new series of videos that I am calling the ColleXion Chronicles. And this is a series highlighting the Xbox family of consoles, focusing primarily on the original Xbox. So why am I doing this? Why did I decide to split this off? Couple reasons. One, with the number of pickups that I am getting, I feel like I'm not getting enough opportunity to talk about some of the games that I'm receiving, so I wanted to be able to isolate these separate from some of the other consoles that I am collecting for. Secondly, I really enjoy the Xbox. The Xbox is one of those systems right now that doesn't seem to have a ton of popularity in the collecting world. So a lot of these games come relatively cheap. So if there is interest in these systems, to be honest, you can get a relatively good collection quickly without putting a ton of capital into it. With all of that said, I have a total of 17 games that I want to talk about here, and I'm going to give you the general theme of this one is Mascots and licensed games. So we'll kind of jump right in. Obviously with any systems library you are going to have your fair share of sports titles. There were some very unique ones for the Xbox at that point in time. It's one of the ones that I found here, and I've got a lot of these, to clarify, a lot of these came through trades with other individuals. Again, I frequent a Facebook group called the Iowa Retro Gamer Nation, and again, these guys are great to me and certainly look out for me. I think I have become kind of the Xbox guy in the group. So everyone seems to be looking out for me. So I would like to thank Eric, Sheldon, Michael, and Ben for all of your help in either finding these, letting me know that you had them, and then again working out something that's mutually beneficial for both of us. So, jumping off from there, again, the first game that I found is MLB Slugfest 2003. This is a baseball game in the same sense that NFL Blitz is an NFL game. It is very over the top. There are power-ups and turbo and collisions at the plate, which has been banned from baseball. And it's just really kind of over the top and just fun. So I'm very happy to have gotten that one. Keeping the theme of baseball, we have the MVP 06 NCAA Baseball, and this was actually the end of the MVP series from EA. EA Sports obviously has a huge name behind it. It is, you know, they put out Madden, they put out FIFA. For a while there, for 2003 through 2006, they had their MVP Baseball series, which was just excellent. It was definitely competitive, and for some reason, they believe there was something about the Major League Baseball license, but it had been they basically stopped putting out these games, and it's really kind of disappointing that they're not able to continue on with this. I believe 2K purchased it, now that I think about it. So 2K purchased the rights so that EA couldn't make any more. So this is the last of that series, but again, this is a college baseball, which ends up in the College World Series in Omaha. The next couple titles, the next three, are really kind of our mascots. Characters who have been the highlight of the consoles that they've been on, and continue, in many cases, a couple of these, one of these in particular, continues to be very prominent. In fact, a game coming out this week. But first we'll jump off with Crash Nitro Kart, and this will be the Mario Kart equivalent of Crash Bandicoot. I have not played a Crash game, but I've been looking for some kind of competitive kart game. I think this will definitely fit the bill for that. So, Crash Nitro Kart. Oddworld Munch's Odyssey. And this was one of the early titles on the system. This was a Microsoft Game Studios games. This was considered first party at that point. It is only on Xbox. And I don't know enough about this game to really speak intelligently about it. I know that it's got kind of a quirky personality to it, so I am looking forward to diving into this game. And the other mascot, and the one that, again, still has games coming out now, is Lara Croft, Tomb Raider Legend. And I have not played this specific edition, but this is one that came out for the original Xbox. And again, she has new game, Rise of the Tomb Raider, coming out later this week. In fact, the reviews, I think, just went up for it. So I am going to be patient there. There's a lot coming out this season that I just can't dive into everything, especially when we have as much as I'm able to find here. The next batch, and really most of the rest of this, is going to be, in some way, licensed games. So games that are using a license either from a TV show or a movie series or a couple of very large franchises. And so we'll go through those. We have Hulk, which this game came out shortly after the I think the Eric Bana Hulk movie. Not the best Hulk game on the system. I believe Ultimate Destruction is a much better game. I think a more open world and kind of free roaming type of game. I believe this one follows a little bit more of the movie type plot, but again, need to dive into it. So that's Hulk. We have, and mind the sticker, we have Alias, and this is the Jennifer Garner TV show, which was directed by J.J. Abrams, who may have some more things to say about J.J. Abrams in just a couple moments. So again, based on the TV show, another one of those licensed games. The next two are Harry Potter games. The console came out at kind of this time when a lot of these big franchises were firing up, early 2000s. And so the two that I have here are Prisoner of Azkaban and Goblet of Fire. I really enjoy this series. I did not jump on board right away, and I have friends who will remember the argument between the next franchise that I'll be showing off and Harry Potter, and which one was sort of better. And I will say now they both have their strengths, but I do enjoy Harry Potter and the games. Again, the quality level on these, and these are both EA games as well, they did a nice job with the license of making sure that they were at least true to the source material. So the next two games, like I said, I had a little argument with some people about this, but we have Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, which I am crazy about this series, as many of my friends will know. And then also Lord of the Rings, The Third Age. The big difference here, the Fellowship game is one that did not actually base itself on the books and not the movies, so a lot of the likenesses and things like that are not in here. It actually takes you into some areas that weren't featured in the movie, like the Barrow Downs, and I believe Tom Bombadil makes an appearance in this game. Lord of the Rings: The Third Age is actually the equivalent of Final Fantasy X with a Lord of the Rings skin over it. And you follow a group of characters who are kind of the B team. We have a ranger and an elf and a dwarf, but they are just a little bit different, and they sort of run almost 3 steps behind the Fellowship the whole way, kind of crossing paths with certain characters along the way. But it plays out like a turn-based RPG. I remember getting this on launch day, so I'm happy to have reacquired Lord of the Rings: The Third Age. The next couple also have some ties together, and this is probably the one that doesn't have a license tied to it, but I will show you why it's important here. This is Secret Weapons over Normandy. So this is a World War II based dogfight and sort of flight sim type game. It is a LucasArts game. In fact, this is from specifically the group that did the original TIE Fighter and X-Wing games on the PC. I have reason to believe there is a cheat code to unlock one or more Star Wars vehicles in this game to fight for you in World War II. So I believe it's an X-Wing and a TIE Fighter. So I'm looking forward to doing that. Again, LucasArts, sadly enough, is not a company that is putting out games anymore, so it's kind of a disappointment. Because a lot of what they did was extremely high quality, and again, they carried a lot of very big licenses with them. With that theme, the next 3 games are very culturally relevant right now. They are very much ones that I'm happy to add, and the first of which is Star Wars Starfighter Special Edition. Again, mine the sticker. I haven't had a chance to really clean up these cases yet, but this actually came out before episode 1, I believe, and it actually, no, it didn't come out before episode 1, but it did have some of the, scratch that, I'm thinking about a different game, but this is one of the earlier games on the system that was Star Wars licensed. The next one is one that I'm extremely happy about, and again, another game that has an analog that's coming out very soon. In fact, later this week we will be getting Star Wars Battlefront. So we have Star Wars Battlefront 2. This was the last release from that series of games. This one, again, was a lot of locations from Episode 3 in here. You can actually fight as a Jedi, but this is a very large multiplayer type game, best played online, as the new Battlefront will be. So I'm mixed on that. Those online multiplayer only competitive shooters are kind of, I sometimes am not great at those because I just don't have the time to really put into doing those consistently. So we will see about that, but although it just looks breathtaking, the visuals are just amazing, and I very much would even just enjoy watching that because it just looks like the real thing. So, Star Wars Battlefront 2. The last of the Star Wars games, and one that I have been trying to get for a couple months. I had something fall through on this game with me a while back, but this is Star Wars Republic Commando. And this game is set between episodes 2 and 3. This is a squad-based shooter, kind of like Ghost Recon, if you're familiar with that. But you play as a group of clone troopers who are tasked with sort of infiltrating and working together as a team to get through to achieve your goals. One of the relevant things about this game is its creative director. His name is Tim Longo. He has since joined Microsoft, and he has been a part of a couple very important franchises. He did have a hand in the, I believe in the previous Tomb Raider game, the reboot. But then more recently, he was the creative director on Halo 5 Guardians, which I just picked up within the last couple weeks. Played through the campaign. I enjoyed it. I need to play through it again because I know that it's been kind of panned. There's been some criticism of plot points and things like that. So I I'm going to give this its fair shake and at least give it another playthrough before I really make a true criticism of that, but I'm extremely happy to have that, and again, Republic Commando. So, brings me to my last game, and this was one that I guess I never really thought that I would come across. I got this in a trade with Sheldon on a recent trip that I had made to the other side of the state. We worked out a trade for this, and this one, again, another license, but this is the Mark Echo's Getting Up Content Under Pressure. And this is the limited edition Steelbook edition. And this game is one that I remember seeing the reviews, and it reviewed fairly well. It's a, from what my interpretation of it is an open world game where you play a graffiti artist who has to sneak into areas of the world to do your graffiti on those walls. Usually that will end up triggering some kind of chase event, so it's very much a stealth game blended with a climbing game, then with a chase and pursuit type game. But this collector's edition, aside from being just in fantastic condition, comes with quite a bit. There is an art book which talks a lot about the development process. Comes with a silver Sharpie. I don't know that I will ever need to use the Sharpie. I believe there's a couple discs of a sort of documentary and behind the scenes, and then the game itself. And again, condition on this is just fantastic. So nice and shiny. So thank you very much, Sheldon, for working out that trade. I really hope that you enjoy what I had coming your way as well. But I have yet to play this. I am looking forward to playing this. But again, it's just a really nice looking piece for the collection. So again, that's Mark Echo's Getting Up Contents Under Pressure. So that's what I have for you. Episode number 1 is complete. So what I'd like to take from here, I don't know how frequently we'll do these videos, but I'd like to sort of intersperse these with some of the other content I do on my channel. I am also collecting for the Nintendo Entertainment System and the Super Nintendo as well. So I do have some videos that I'm planning to do focusing more on the other side, the non-Xbox side of the collection. So I will continue doing those. I'll probably link those somewhere around here. But as always, I welcome feedback. This is a growing new thing for me, so if you have thoughts, if there are things you'd like to hear more about, if you want to know more about the creators or about other ties to current games, please feel free to drop me a comment if you have thoughts or impressions that might help improve the content for future videos. As always, if you'd like to subscribe, I encourage you to do so. It definitely helps me out. It definitely lets me know that what I'm doing is something that people actually enjoy watching, because I enjoy making the content. So with that in mind, again, this has been the Collection Chronicles, Episode 1. But I hope you come back for the next time, however soon it may be. So again, I have been Musty Hobbit, and I would like to have you take care of yourself and be good to each other.